Happy Sunday, everybody. Shrinks back in his house, in his cave, pacing around like I do. But yeah, so streamers is for me. It's probably the hottest topic I like to revisit because it's just all the variables that you need to look at, especially if you have a budget to spend a fair amount of money on one. You may be new at hi-fi, and I suggest just taking your time and just trying to do it right the very first time rather than doing very, very risky experiments trying to buy things and just luck out and get it right. It can be a very costly endeavor. Luckily, like I've always said before, and for those who watch me, I got nothing against dealers because I got a great relationship with a couple of them that even send me equipment, regardless of what the price is of it. They just trust me because I have really, really good reputations on the used audio sites via feedback, that kind of thing. So I was able to just go on a long road of buying and selling and just trying many different flavors of many different components and speakers. So as I say, guys, I'm not a reviewer. You all know that. It just does not interest me whatsoever. And that's not because I can't get things. I have a few dealers that are willing to send me things. Orchard sent me some stuff. I mean, I love little boutique companies, and I bought a few items from them as well. So I don't just sit here and talk about it. I'll buy it. Because I want to support people. That doesn't mean I'm going to keep it. No, not necessarily. But, the streamer topic, in my opinion, it's one of the hardest products to bring to market. The flooded audio industry, right? There's so many products out there, and there's also so many products that have been around for a long time, and they've been, really dialing that in with the software being just as important as the sound and the overall design, in my opinion. You may not agree, and that's cool, but I've had so many guys, and I've tried so many different softwares. I even, Bryston's one of the godfathers to digital audio, and I love the sound. The DACs are great. I mean, but when that streamer came in, like the digital player, it's the worst software possibly for the higher end brands that I've ever used. Manic Moose. It was just so awful, and it's so sad because the sound was great. So again, if you own, say the BDP3 and you're getting your back up against that, well, that's okay because you may not have tried companies that are out there like a Render and even Lumen or Orlick or Innuos that all have their own really dialed in software. It's just a joy to use. It's unbelievable to use. So, for me, I've always I've had so many here, guys. Up to the $10,000 range retail. I've never paid that, obviously, because it's just not, like I say, I have other responsibilities that are more important to me than that. But to me, spending $2,500 max, $2,000 on the used market is going to get you a really, really good product if you do your homework, take your time, listen to people that have lived with those components, not reviewed them for a week or two. I mean, really live with them, seen what they're really all about. So, I got nothing bad to say with a Render. I loved that product, the N100H, and then I went to the A10, which was around $8,500, but that had the built-in DACs. For you guys that love your boxes, I would always never recommend having a streamer with a built-in DAC because it really locks you in. And you could call me a hypocrite because I run one box that does all of it. And I'll continue to rave just how good the Belcanto E1X is because there's people that are done with it. They're just so done with it. The redundancy of the change and just hoping for the best, and it just isn't there. The brain won't allow it. But, so, yeah, I've had the T3, the T2, the Lumen, the Render N100H, the Render A10. So usually the max retail was up around $8,500. And I usually got really spectacular prices just to bring them in and try them. So the N100H was the one that really opened my eyes to what is capable in the digital domain when it comes to having world-class software, which is the Conductor app. You know, these components too are just built like tanks. They're just beautiful, and I love the small format of the N100H. I don't know what it's called now. Now they offer more than just USB input at the back for a little more money. I think it's the N150 now or something like that. Anyway, I went on that journey, and I even tried budget streamers like the iFi. Sounded great, but the software needs a lot of work, in my opinion. So it took a long time, about 10 or 15 years, when I finally got the innuos, and I had some really high-end gear here to mate it with. And like when the spatials came into the room, it was almost an immediate jaw dropper. Like the immediate weight of the music, the effortless weight, analog feel, musical engagement with the heart. I just could not believe what I was hearing. And that model, guys, is the sweet spot, okay? And now it does have a ripper, which I didn't need. And I have not owned the Pulse. So it's the Zen MK3, because when you go to the Zenith, that's double the price. And I'm one of those guys that I've proved to myself time and time again, it's not worth it for me. The difference is too small to want to go that route. So I stay in that kind of sweet spot. And that's still a lot of money. The Zen MK3 is around $5,000 Canadian, right? Doesn't have a built-in DAC, is limited to only USB. But guys, the power supply, this thing, when you look inside it or pick it up, it's built like an integrated amplifier. The Sean Jacobs internal supply is so beautifully built, and guys, you can hear it. And there's so many streamers on the market. I'm telling you, if you have the income and you have the budget, just stay away from all these ones that are coming new to market. Stick with these companies that are focused on these devices and have been for years, and really have the whole area dialed in when it comes to the power supply, the software. So my go-to, if I was to rebuild, which I hope I never do, but I'm not going to use the word never because I've put my foot in my mouth many times, it would always be innuos would anchor my digital front end, for sure. So, if you guys got around $2,000, $2,500, and you're looking for a kick-ass streamer, that musically engages you, it's got effortless weight to the music, there's no digital feel whatsoever to the presentation. None that I've felt, and that's even with different speakers here that I've had, my little stand mounts and the totems and the Grahams and all that stuff, guys. Beautiful presentation at low volume. It's that effortless weight that is really hard to create in the digital domain. There's always that little bit of glare or sibilance that I could detect. So, it's a very, very difficult product to bring to market. So if you're enjoying your ever solos and all that other stuff, that's cool. But I'm telling you, there's no need to start lower and work your way up. I'm telling you right now, I'm backing it up. The Zen MK3 is it's beautiful in every way. The price point, the price you can get them on the used market, the build quality, the musical engagement. So it does have a ripper. You may not need that, but I can't recommend the Pulse, which is just a streamer, which was where I would go because I don't need a ripper. But I haven't heard it, and I've experienced a lot of things in the cave here over the last 2-3 decades that shows me, even though it's the same company, the same line, all that other stuff, sometimes there's just a little bit of a signature change in the sound. Like I just experienced with the Black EX, double the price of this, $22,000. It wasn't for me. The sound was different. So, and I was able to do the A-B comparison because they were both here. When I put the E1X back in, I just went, wow, okay. Yeah, so that word synergy, I do hate it, but I just can't come up with a better one. So these are the buzzwords that you hear, in hi-fi. So I still gonna say it, man. Innuos is the one for me. If you have the money, you know, you can come back and shit on me if you want for sending you in that direction and you hate the sound. But guess what? There's been a few people that have done it. And have they maybe upgraded or what, have made a change? Maybe, but they've all just patted me on the back and said, Dave, thanks so much for this because you're right. You know, so there you go. That's my recommendation. The sweet spot of the innuos lineup. If you want to build a digital front end and you want a bare bone streamer that's just rock solid in every way. If you want to like and subscribe, and also if you want to send a super thanks, because I'm here really trying to help people. I'm not reviewing stuff. I'm talking hands-on experience owning these components for a couple years. That's where I would send you. So there you go. Thanks so much. Enjoy your Sunday. Cheers.